Wonderhussey here, enjoying my guilty white trash secret pleasure, Mike's Hard Lemonade, blood orange. Okay, I hardly ever drink these. Longtime viewers might remember I drank them during the coronavirus pandemic when I was helping my friend recover from knee surgery because it was a tough time in my life. And nothing but the sweet, sweet taste of Mike's Hard Blood Orange. Oh, Mike's Harder Blood Orange could get me through it. Anyway, I'm standing on a bridge overlooking the beautiful Russian River in Northern California, taking a much-deserved breather after 2 weeks of very strenuous work. As a matter of fact, I'm shooting this on the Tuesday after Labor Day, and let me tell you something. We really put the labor in Labor Day this year. My sister and I came up here to my mom's house. That's right, my mom had, well, technically, as of this video, still has this beautiful cabin in the forest just over there above the beautiful Russian River. But unfortunately, she just sold the house, and so my sister and I came up, and my brother came up too, to help her move all her worldly possessions out of the house and into storage. Now, looking around, you're probably asking yourself, well, gee, wonderhussey, if your mom lived in a cabin in a place as beautiful as this, why the heck is she selling it? Well, let me tell you something. It is beautiful. But living in a cabin in the forest all by yourself as a woman is not easy, okay? My mom's cabin is heated by a wood-burning stove, so she's got to chop firewood, load a cord of firewood every winter. She's got to watch for the trees overhead. She's surrounded by redwood trees. I'm going to go ahead and get off this bridge because it's kind of noisy. There's tree branches that fall on her house in storms, like mudslides, wildfires. It's wild out here. I mean, yes, it is absolutely beautiful, but it's wild, and I guess that's kind of what makes it so beautiful. Anyway, I'm real proud of my mom because she lived up here for over 10 years. I think 11, 12 years she lived in this cabin by herself, and she definitely faced some challenges, but she faced them all. She took care of business, but you know, she just had enough and figured it was time to move somewhere else on to the next adventure. And so we did. My sister and I came up. I've been up here for almost 2 weeks. My sister's been up here for about a week. My brother even came over the last couple weekends to help us with the big stuff. Because that's right, we didn't even hire movers. Okay, we moved all my mom's furniture, and she has some really beautiful but really heavy antiques. Actually, she's got a lot of really, really cool but really heavy antiques. So first we were like, oh, maybe we should just hire movers. Because not only is her furniture heavy, but she lives in the forest on a pretty steep hillside. I'll show you the house when I get back there. I won't go inside out of respect to my mom because it's all cleaned out now. You know, it doesn't look as cool as it did when she was living there with all her stuff. I mean, you've seen the inside of our Death Valley compound and all our weird stuff. Well, my mom's house was kind of like that, only I'd say a little classier. My mom's house was more like Pier 1 Imports. My sister's and my place is more like a thrift store. Anyway, I never filmed any of this when my mom was living here because obviously I wanted to protect my mom's privacy, but this is River Road that we are walking along. If you keep taking it that way, about 10 miles, you get to Highway 101 and the city of Santa Rosa. And if you take River Road this way, well, obviously it parallels the Russian River, and then you end up in the absolutely charming little town of Guerneville. If you've ever heard of Guerneville, California, that's just right down the road. And then just beyond Guerneville is Rio Nido. And you know what Rio Neato is, don't you? You don't? Well, let me clue you into something. Rio Neato is where there's this place called Bohemian Grove. Does that ring a bell? It's this super secret enclave, like summer camp for the extremely wealthy and well-connected. Politicians and movers and shakers from all over the world have been going up there every summer since I think like the 1920s to have these. I know this sounds real conspiracy theory, but it's true. They have kind of like a Burning Man event, but it's for like movers and shakers and powerful people like Dick Cheney, I think, went there. I think Jimmy Buffett. One of my friends went to it once. You can only get in by invitation. You know, you got to know somebody who's a member of the Bohemian Society. And also you have to be a man. They don't allow any females on the property. And trust me, I've thought about trying to get a job when they do their little summer camp thing as like a food server or something. Like I could tuck my hair up under my hat and pretend to be a guy, you know. I certainly have the chest for it. Well, obviously I never got around to doing that. But anyway, yeah, it's called Bohemian Grove. It's right down the road, and every summer for, I think, 2 weeks, they have this weird encampment. I feel like they burn a giant owl. I know this sounds really crazy, like Alex Jones type stuff, but it's true. You can look it up. Anyway, all of that is going down just down the road that way. And if you continue taking River Road past all of that craziness, well, eventually you end up at the coast near Bodega Bay. Beautiful little town you might remember from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. But in addition to all that, there's also neighborhoods nestled in the hills on both sides of the Russian River. And there's all kinds of really cool, charming, quaint little summer homes, vacation cabins, and, like with my mom, primary residences. Okay, there are a lot of people who just come here during the summer, you know, people who are wealthy enough to have a summer home and only come here in the summertime when it's nice. But there's a lot of folks, like my mom, who lived here year round. And that's when it gets tough in the wintertime. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous here in the wintertime. There's fog and mist shrouding all these trees, and my mom's cabin is surrounded by redwood trees. So if you go visit my mom in the winter, or when I used to go visit my mom in the winter, oh my gosh, it was so cozy. But that was kind of part of the problem. It was cold. It gets real cold up here because you're in the redwood forest. So it's dank and, you know, misty and cold, man. Her house is heated by a wood burning stove, and man, I had to wear like 10 layers of clothes every time I came to visit her in the winter. And so I never really wanted to get out of bed. And well, that was the problem. It was so cozy to just sit in bed. And her cabin has all these huge windows looking out at the forest. And so you could just snuggle up in your blankets and look at the misty woods and basically never get out of bed. But in the summertime, it is absolutely gorgeous. And so that's why she sold her house in the summertime. And it didn't take long to sell at all because it's so cute and so charming. I think she had like 4 offers in the first week. And so that's why I've had to spend most of my summer up here helping her. And now our crazy and exhausting adventure has finally come to an end. Tomorrow morning I gotta get up, go to U-Haul and rent a trailer to take the last few odds and ends of my mom's stuff to our next destination. Now you might be wondering, well, where are you guys going? If your mom sold her house and didn't buy a new house yet, well, that doesn't make sense. But, well, you got to think about it. My mom didn't know how much money she was going to get from the sale, so she didn't know how much she could spend on a new house until after the sale closed. So, sale closed this morning. We just did escrow, signed all the papers at the title company. We know the budget that we have to work with now, and so now we can start shopping for a new house. And so that's kind of part of why we're celebrating tonight, me with my Mike's Harder Blood Orange. And, well, my sister's up ahead with a bag full of junk food. We were too tired to drive into town tonight to get dinner, and the stove and everything's already packed up. So we decided we'd just walk down the hill here. There's a little kind of like country market, tourist market, and we just spent $50 on junk food. Potato chips, dip, salsa, cookies, and booze. So we're just gonna eat dinner, pass out, spend one last night at my mom's country cabin, and then get up and load everything into this trailer and head on out in the morning. Okay, obviously it's a few days later, and obviously I'm not up at the Russian River anymore. And that's because we finally finished moving my mom out of her old house. Oh my God. It's almost a full week after I shot the first half of this video, and I am still completely exhausted. But fortunately for me, I'm finally getting a chance to get a little rest up here in this beautiful, unidentified part of the Sierra Foothills. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about where I am right now. Basically, my brother had to go home. He was only available to help on the weekends, but my sister and I helped my mom pack up every last thing. Last Wednesday, I'm filming this on a Wednesday, so yes, 1 week ago today, we went to U-Haul and rented a cargo trailer because my mom had a lot of plants and big plant pots and garden stuff that just wouldn't fit into the storage unit. And the plants, obviously, she didn't want to put in storage. She wanted to take them with her. And so we rented a cargo trailer. We loaded up every last little bit, hitched up the cargo trailer to my rig, and by the time all of that was done, it was like 5 p.m. I mean, you know how it is when you're moving? There's always, well, you think, oh, okay, I've got just about everything out of the house. All we have to do is pull the last few things together and we'll be good. And there's always one more thing. It's like if you ever went to the circus and saw one of those clown cars, you know, the little VW Beetle comes out and one clown gets out, and then another clown gets out, and then another clown, and you go, how many more clowns can fit in this dang VW Beetle? Well, my mom's cabin was kind of like that clown car. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. Anyway, we finally got the last clown out of the car, loaded up this trailer, and then we drove up here. Now you might be wondering, well, gee, wonderhussie, why are you up in the Sierra Foothills? Well, that's because the way it worked with my mom's sale, she sold her house, but she didn't know exactly how much money she was going to get from the sale, so she couldn't buy another house quite yet until she had the money. And so now she's got the money, we can start looking for another house, and I'm going to help her. I'm going to put some money in with her. But it's going to take us a while to find the house, and so we needed a place to stay in the meantime. Oh, okay, obviously we couldn't stay in her old house anymore because the new buyer is probably moving all her stuff in. So what were we supposed to do? Rent an apartment? Which we did consider doing. I mean, my mom lived in the greater San Francisco Bay Area, and if you've ever been to the Bay Area, you know that rents are not cheap. So I put a call out on Facebook asking if anybody who follows me or knows me had a vacation home or a, you know, spare granny unit we could crash in for a few weeks while we're looking for a new house. And come to find out, my mom's mom has a house up here somewhere in this beautiful pine forest in the Sierra Nevada foothills that she hasn't been living in. In fact, no one's been living there for the last 10 years, just sitting there empty. And so my mom asked her if we could stay up here, and she was gracious enough to say yes. If you're watching this video, Grandma, thank you. And yes, by the way, my grandma watches all my videos and reads all the comments. So next time you want to write something fresh or mean about me in the comments, well, please keep in mind that not only does my grandma read them, so does my mom. My mom reads all my comments. I'm really lucky to have a very supportive family. It's all women, you know, the women outlive the men in my family. I'm not quite sure why that is. But anyway, the women are very supportive. And my grandma was kind enough to let us come up here and stay in her beautiful mountain cabin in these gorgeous Sierra foothills. So my sister, me, and my mom got up here a week ago and we unloaded the trailer, and then we had to bring the trailer back to the nearest U-Haul dealer, which was really an adventure. I mean, this is an amazing area. I'm actually going to be staying up here for a while, and I'm really looking forward to it because there's so much, well, natural beauty, but also really interesting history up here. Okay, I'm not going to say too much about where exactly I am, partly to preserve my mom and my grandma's privacy, but also I like to keep things mysterious. But you'll be able to figure out what part of the country I'm in by the videos I'll be posting shortly, because yeah, man, I'm going to be up here. I told my mom I could stay until the end of September. So I'm going to be up here for another 3 weeks. And that means I'm going to need to shoot some more videos. And like I said, fortunately, this is a part of the country with a lot of really interesting historical stuff and natural beauty. In fact, I'll just say this. I'm sort of making a game out of where am I? It feels weird that nobody in the world knows where I am except, well, really my brother, my sister, and my mom. It's kind of, I don't know why, it's kind of unsettling, but it's also kind of fun. Like, I feel like, you remember that old TV show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It was like a kid's educational show back in the 90s, I think. Anyway, I feel like Carmen Sandiego, only it's Where in the World is Wonderhussie? You know, I could be just about anywhere in this beautiful pine forest. I mean, there's beautiful pine forests like this all over the state of California. Oopsie, there's a road sign down here on the highway. I guess I almost gave myself away. I'm walking from the house where we're staying down to the mailbox. Okay, this is a country house where you got to walk down this beautiful gravel lane about I think it's almost a half a mile to the mailbox, because I got me some Amazon deliveries. That's right, Amazon out here doesn't come directly to the door anymore. I guess Amazon has started doing this in a lot of places. Apparently they deliver via USPS, the postal service, and so you got to go to your mailbox to check it, which is why I'm going to check my mail here at the side of the highway where they have one of those locking mailboxes. Let's see what the mailman has for me today. Ooh la la. I'm actually very excited about this because when I was staying at my mom's house up on the Russian River, unfortunately they have a problem with mail theft up there, and so if you ordered anything from Amazon, it was sure to get stolen right out of the mailbox. So gosh, I was up at my mom's for, I think I got up there on August 22nd, so like 10 days, almost 2 weeks I was up there, and I wasn't able to order anything I need, so this is good. So anyway, yep, I'm gonna be staying up here in this undisclosed but beautiful pine forested part of the Sierra foothills for the next 3 weeks or so. I mean, I guess it all depends on how fast my mom finds a new house, and you don't want to rush something like finding a new house, so you know, we don't want to take advantage of my grandma's generosity either, but I feel like we should be okay up here for another few weeks, and if she still hasn't found a house by then, well, I do have to go back down to Death Valley because I have a lot of social engagements in the month of October and November. But my sister said she would come up here for a couple weeks, and you know, between us and my brother and my other sister, we'll figure it out. Although I will say that it's so pleasant up here right now. This time of year, it's like, I think it was like 80 degrees today, and the air smells so sweet and fresh, like these pine trees. I'm really not in any hurry to leave this part of the country. Although I guess, to be honest, I am feeling just a squidge of FOMO. I've been having a lot of problems with FOMO lately. You know, like, I didn't get to go to Burning Man. And guess what? Everybody I knew who went to Burning Man was sending me photos of how great Burning Man was. And even people I don't know who don't go to Burning Man were sending me links to articles about how great Burning Man was. So I had a little bit of FOMO about that. I had a little bit of FOMO about a couple other things. And I am having a little bit of FOMO because my sister actually left today to drive back down to Death Valley. And I think that my part of Death Valley is going to see double-digit temperatures now. Ooh, talk about exciting. Okay, it's been triple digits since May, but right around this time of year is when it finally dips below 100, and we have our first blessed double-digit days. And that's when everyone kind of starts trickling back into town from their summer adventures. And the brewery just opened. That's right, I'm going to be posting this video on Friday, which is the day the Death Valley Brewery, or Death Valley Brewing, is reopening. So if you want to take a fun little road trip out to Tacopa and get a beer, Dan the Brewmeister is going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think there's even live music on Saturday. So go on down, check it out. Tell him I said hi, and that I'll be back as soon as I can. But first, I have other business to attend to. In fact, you might say, I have many miles to go before I sleep. That's a line from a Robert Frost poem. Miles to go before I sleep. Boy, I've already gone many, many miles, but there's still many miles to go because finding an affordable house and buying that house is going to be no easy feat. So I'm hoping I can help my mom do all of that while still managing to fulfill my obligations down south. Okay, I'm supposed to appear, and they actually asked me if I wanted an appearance fee at Rhyolite Ghost Town. Okay, if you've ever been to Rhyolite Ghost Town, there's that really cool Goldwell open air art museum on site where they have that really cool ghostly sculpture of the Last Supper, and they have that big giant pink lady built out of cinder blocks. Bunch of really cool artwork. Shorty Harris with a penguin. You have to see it to understand, but really cool art museum at Rhyolite Ghost Town is having, I think it's their 40th anniversary. Oh gosh, I already forgot when it is. I think it's like the third weekend in October. And so I'm supposed to appear at that. I guess there's going to be a parade. It's like a costume thing, so I'm going to get all dressed up. I'm really looking forward to that. And then after that, I was considering going to Beatty Days. Okay, I went to Goldfield Days last year, and that was a hoot and a half. Well, all these little towns in Nevada have their own celebrations. And so Beatty, Nevada, which is a town I've passed through dozens and dozens of times, but never made a video about yet. Well, they're having Beatty Days the last weekend in October, and I'd really like to try and make that as well if I can. And I'm still supposed to go to Nashville, I think, to visit my friend there and do some kind of meet and greet. And then as if all that wasn't enough, well, we're having our big community fundraiser in Tacopa on November 2nd. That's right, I've talked about this before, and I've been posting about it on Facebook lately. But I'm going to say it again, November 2nd, we're having a big community festival right in the middle of Tacopa. And there's going to be bands, and there's going to be food trucks, and there's going to be beer, and there's going to be all kinds of interesting vendors displaying their arts and crafts. So come on down. There's still plenty of hotel rooms available, plenty of campsites with RV hookups available. And if none of that interests you, well, there's also plenty of BLM land all around us to boondock on. I think I'm going to set my trailer up, my little vintage travel trailer with like my little campsite in front of it. If you came to our last event, I had my rig, my Forerunner, set up the way I usually have it set up when I'm camping. So people who came to meet me got to kind of hang out at my campsite. Well, this year, since I didn't get to go to Burning Man, I think I'm going to set up my whole trailer in that whole infrastructure. And so if you want to come meet me, you can come hang out at my Burning Man camp. Dang, I'm already almost back at the house. Time flies when you're yakking to your cell phone. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to film my grandma's house out of respect to her and my mom's privacy. But my mom did say that she would have been okay with me filming her old house, which unfortunately just never worked out, man. I had several requests from people that wanted to see what the inside of my mom's old cabin looked like, because I posted an exterior of it once, and it was just such a cool place. It was so cute. But with all the moving and hustle and bustle, there just wasn't time, A, and B, well, her house was still beautiful, but it wasn't as cool with all the furniture taken out of it, okay? My mom had all this funky, cool stuff, and once we cleared all that out, well, the house looked cool, but you couldn't really get an idea of how cool it was. Fortunately, she has the photos from the real estate listing, and she said I could share those with you here. So please enjoy some photos of my mom's beautiful cabin in the redwood forest on the Russian River in beautiful Sonoma County, California, where she lived for, I think, 12 years and had some pretty good times. Yeah, sure, you know, there were some tough times, but there were lots of good times in that house. And I think she's really glad that she had the time up there. You know, it was always her dream in life to live in a cabin in the mountains, and well, by golly, she got her dream. I told you it was a cool cabin, right? Anyway, we're coming down the driveway now to my temporary quarters, and the late afternoon sunshine is filtering through these sweet smelling pine trees. And oh gosh, I think you might be able to see just a little glimpse of the house in the distance, and you could even make out my 4Runner parked in front of it. Okay, before I wrap up this video, I did get one interesting thing from Amazon in here that I think might be kind of fun to share with y'all, and that is a pair of bangs. Or I don't know, I'm not sure you call it a pair of bangs, but it's basically fake bangs made out of real human hair, which are basically made so you can see what you look like with bangs without actually cutting your hair. You know, I've been thinking it's time for a change. You know, I've had the same friggin' look for ever since I started this YouTube channel. All I ever do is wear a freaking trucker hat and a ponytail. Well, I feel like I need to do something different with my hair, and so I was considering cutting bangs, but obviously I don't want to cut them because then what happens if I don't like it? So I thought I would order these bangs off Amazon. I don't think I got the right color. I don't know, what do you think? Is this a good look for me? Hello, wonderhussie here. Or what if I do, hello, wonderhussie here? Or how about, hello, wonderhussie here? Oh wow, I feel like a diner waitress in this. I kind of like this. I always do this updo, but I feel like this does look better with bangs. What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You know, my friend Carlo down at Villa Anita is a hairstylist. He cut my sister's hair, and he just cut Dan's hair, the brewmeister at Death Valley Brewing, and it looked amazing. I think I should let him cut me some bangs. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I kind of like it. But then again, I know how I am. Even if I did cut bangs, I'd probably still end up just wearing my hat with them. Oh, I kind of like this look too. Well, I'm gonna have to do some experimenting with my new human hair bangs in the house. But for now, I'm just gonna finish my ranch water and wrap up this update video. I don't know, I just figured you guys were probably curious about what I've been up to lately, and I did have a few emails asking me to share what's going on with my mom's move. So, well, I hope this answered all your questions, except for the one that I'm not quite ready to give away yet. And that is, where in the world is Wonderhussie?